some gaslighting.
What an absolutely arrogant and tone-deaf comment. The whole point of MCC, stated by 333, was to preserve the legacy of these games and allow PC players to experience them.
So, there's a possibility that I may or may not have started a shitstorm on Steam. Oh, let's talk about it, shall we? So, this all started at around midnight of December 16th, 2020. I was playing Halo, like I do, and I noticed that when I was playing Halo 3, my armor had been reset. So, what gives? What ended up happening was overnight, or maybe over the course of like a couple of days or something, a new update for Halo was launched. Now, keep in mind, this is only for PC players at the moment. Some new cosmetics were added, and, you know, that's cool. There's new content for both Halo 3 and Halo Reach. I mean, later on you're gonna have to unlock them, but hey, that's cool, they're thinking about adding new stuff to the game. That was my reaction. Not necessarily the entirety of the Halo communities, though. Now, this starts to make me think a little bit about how exactly I feel about this. Now, I complain a lot about video games. I do. I complain a lot about video games, I complain a lot about developers, and I complain a lot about just a whole bunch of shit that really doesn't matter sometimes. However, this is different. This is starting to get to the point where somebody needs to address this. People are saying, and I quote,
Dear 333, your armor additions are hideous, and we don't want them in the game. Hey 333. I'm a fan of Halo, specifically Bungie's Halo. I don't really understand why you're adding 333 content into Bungie games. If I wanted to play 333 Halo, I have 4, 5 and Infinite to choose from. But I don't want to play those, because I don't like your games, I don't like your weird, clusterfuck art style, and I certainly don't like it invading Bungie's space. Please stick to modifying things that you actually made, thank you.
You do realize that Halo is completely owned by 343 now, right? It's their property now. They can do what they want with it. Sorry that IPs and dropping support from corporations sucks, but buddy, under capitalism, that's just what you have to deal with. You're just gonna have to deal with the fact that transferring stuff to another company, just that's how that works. That is specifically how that works. 90% of these people are actually complaining about this makes the game look worse, which I'm gonna throw a graphic up on the screen now, and I'm gonna ask you, which one looks worse? The one on the left or the one on the right? Because I think the one on the left looks really nice in comparison to the one on the right. Look, this basically stems from an entire, like, sort of, how do you say, entitled sort of mindset of another company is touching something that I like, and that's bad and evil, and we should do something to make sure that doesn't happen. Yet they fail to understand that media evolves. Media doesn't stay the same forever. What, do you think that we're still using Thomas Edison's little vinyl cylinder things? No. Why? Because they're obsolete. Look, we have things like Blu-rays now. We're starting to get things like online streaming services for radio, for video. We have that, actually. We have 4K resolution. We have 8K resolution. We're on the verge of getting to 12 and 16K at some point. What this argument basically makes you sound like is this. I can't experience The Wizard of Oz on tin can resolution. It's gotten rid of all of the authenticity. No. No, it's the same movie, but this time it's in the modern era. You see, you're watching it on an 8K screen. Or 4K. Let's say you're watching this on a 4K screen. The fact that you're watching The Wizard of Oz on a 4K screen in all of that crystal clear glory. Do you really want to go back to analog TVs? Do you really want to go back to crusty graphics from 2007 that were obviously meant for a system that had 512 megabytes of RAM when most people are rolling 16 to 32 gigabytes of RAM in the modern era? The answer is no. No, that is not what you want. Look, media evolves, and I'm sorry, but you're just gonna have to kind of deal with it. It's really not that big of a deal. Honestly, I'm surprised more people aren't pissed about the fact that 343 added Halo 3 ODST's weapons into Halo 3, which if you don't know, the Halo 3 ODST pistol is on par with, if not better than the Halo Combat Evolved pistol, or even the Halo Reach DMR, while the SMG is just an SMG that can zoom. You see, that weapon wasn't meant to be used in a PvP scenario. Or at least it wasn't thought of to be used in a PvP scenario. Look, the point is that you can't complain about one thing being not pure enough, and then be complicit with something that completely changes the fundamental balancing of a game. I'm very glad that you're as passionate about Halo as I am, but the thing is that after a while you have to learn to accept change. And I say this as a person who goes to vanilla Halo 3 tournaments and LAN parties using an Xbox 360. You can't expect the PC version to stay the same. What, do you want them to not update it? Do you want them to keep the old gross Xbox Live netcode? Do you want to still have to pay $20 a month to get a gold subscription so you could play online with your buddies and even voice chat? No. I know that's not what you want, because you guys have complained about that for years. I remember hearing about back in the day, people complained about Halo 3's cosmetics for looking really cartoonish, and for, you know, not existing sometimes. For example, the Hayabusa sword for the Hayabusa set. And people were actively, you know, getting upset with Bungie over something that they had good intentions with. It's not like 343 did this out of malice. They did it to make the game look nicer. You do realize that, right? They didn't do this to spite you. They didn't do this to ruin your childhood. They didn't do this to get rid of your memories. Because here's the thing. I know that with Halo 3, I have and always will have good memories of this game. And nothing can stop that. Not even breaking the game on a fundamental level. If that's the case, then I'll play with my buddies on System Link. I'll just do 4v4 games with them at the college. Or I'll go to a LAN party. If things start getting that bad, then, you know what? Maybe the PC version isn't worth it. But for now, this is such a minor thing. The last thing I really want to ask is this. What is the main thing that you do in Halo? Because I know for damn sure it's not inspecting the other Spartans. I know that we're not hosting Halo 3 fashion shows here. We're not going down the Bungie runway. This is a game about war. This is a game about shooting. This is a game about killing. This is a game about thinking and moving. This is a game about trying to stay alive while working as a team. This is a game about being a lone wolf soldier. So, when you see your character after dying, then what's the damage? You're not sitting there and inspecting them, are you? Because if that's the case, then you're not really playing the game. Now, we can make the argument of, is there really a way of playing the game, but that's a topic for another time. Look, the point is that at that point, then you're getting rid of what Bungie intended for you to do, which is carry on its legacy. So, even with new cosmetics, can we just carry on the legacy of Halo 3? It's not like you're playing a new game, because I can tell you, for the last 13 years, this is a game that I've held dear to me, and it's still a game that I hold dear to me, and a couple of helmets and chest pieces aren't going to change that for me. There are also other people out there that are saying Halo 2 Anniversary and Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary were giant mistakes, but I tend to disagree with both of those as well. And for the last thing, no. Asking me if having my furry character in a Halo game, that's not a valid form of criticism of my initial question, or of my initial post, dude. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, that's not a valid form of criticism, because that's not what I intended for the post to mean. Anywho, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked this video, there will be a lot more like it. Leave a like, comment, maybe even subscribe. I'll see you on the other side. Techmo out.